isn't that it was in the RNA.
Yeah, I've got you. But if it's true,
Well, hello and welcome to the stream.
You don't understand the science. They don't either.
Right.
But if it's true, then what are the ethics of doing this?
Well, I guess you could make really smart people. You could get the memory from, let's say if they had a blood sample from Albert Einstein, you could somehow take that out and inject it into somebody else.
Well, we could, but when you ask a question about ethics, you're saying not could, but should.
Oh, we should, yeah.
Should we?
Well, other things are always
In other words, I take it to mean then that you would do it.
Oh, well, if it was my little boy.
Yeah, but you know what would happen? Inevitably, some jerk would be out there taking regular monthly blood samples from Charlie Manson.
Yeah.
I appreciate your call, sir. Inevitably, that would occur, wouldn't it? West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Hi. Extinguish your radio number 1. Turn that radio off. Okay, we'll hold on while you turn it off, so go turn that radio off. The advice is have your radio near your phone so that when you get on the air, you can immediately go click. Okay, I think she may be back. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Yakima, Washington.
Okay, welcome.
Hi. So you're talking about about lung transplant.
You bet.
The soul, I looked in the dictionary under soul to define exactly what it is.
Yeah, but what Webster's? What would you go to?
Let's see, what have we got here? It's the Random House College Dictionary.
Random House College Dictionary. So what do they know?
So what do they know?
Yeah.
Well, I was talking with my aunt, and I asked her, I said, well, what is exactly the definition of soul?
Yes.
And it says here that the spiritual part of man is distinct from the physical part.
Ah, see? I'm right. What do they know? I mean, what if it is not distinct in every way from your physical self? What if in your DNA structure, your RNA, at the molecular level, you are who you are? And when you transplant a piece of you to somebody else, a piece of you goes along. For real.
Yeah, well, and you were asking if is it moral, to take parts from one body and give to the other.
And I think my answer is if they're harvested after death. That's really important. And lately I've been hearing some disturbing news about harvesting prior to death. But assuming that it's done after brain death, then I think there's a moral stand you could take that would say that if part of me saved the life and continued the life of somebody else, that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
Well, and what my feelings are about it is this body is just a shell for us to use while you're on Earth anyway. I mean, the spirit of who we are is in our chest, but the body and every part of the body is just a shell for us to use during our life here on Earth.
So what does it mean if that lady dreamt the name of the donor? A total impossibility.
It boggles the mind.
You got to sit down and think about that one a little bit, huh?
Oh yeah, it's not impossible, but it's too.
Well,
what the right word is to be coincidence.
I hope exactly.
Too hard of a thing to happen.
I don't believe in those kinds of coincidences. Thank you very much. Yes, exactly. This is such an incredible story. And what it suggests really has got to rock you back for a couple of minutes and make you begin to think about what might be as opposed to what we have traditionally believed. Right? Wildcard, no, first time caller line, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Art. I'm calling from Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
And I hate to diverge a little bit.
You can diverge anywhere you want to go, sir.
I have this report, Art.
Life is full of them, but the one thing is not a mystery, and that is you must turn your radio off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Before we can proceed.
It's been like that.
Right?
Okay. There was an article in 1991 that I didn't catch in time, but it's a article in the Reader Journal about 12 bighorn sheep being found in the north end of the Mormon Baptist dead and inaccessible, possibly reached by either foot or horseback. And they think they were dropped out of an airplane. And they were dead long enough that they didn't want to take an autopsy on them.
Dropped out of an airplane.
That's their theory.
Well, I guess that would be what I would say too, if it was inaccessible, period.
Well, it's accessible, but if the steep terrain in the general area is 6 hours from where you can access it with a vehicle.
Yeah, but aren't bighorn sheep pretty good at climbing things?
Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are, but 13 of them in the same spot at the same time, dead for the same amount of time. They were dead for, 6 months to a year, I think.
Well, without an autopsy having been performed to determine the cause of death, we're really guessing.
Yes, and for some reason they didn't take hair samples or tissue samples or anything to a pathologist.
Yeah, well, you know where they are now, don't you? Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Level 7.
Could be.
Appreciate the call, sir. Thanks. Everything like that goes the right path, doesn't it? East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Rebecca from Arkansas.
Rebecca from Arkansas. All right.
Yes, sir. This is the first one I've called. I've been listening to you for a few months now, and we enjoy your program. I think the very best one was last week when Will Nelson was on. I really enjoyed that.
Well, I run the gamut.
And I enjoyed that. Many different kinds of things. I have two comments about the heart and lung transplant. I watched that tonight on 2020.
And your impressions were?
Well, I thought it was very well done, and they were objective about it. The point here I want to make are metaphysical more than physical.
That's
and
fine.
that is, if the soul has to leave the body in order for the body to die, wouldn't it remain if a major part of that body was still alive, especially major organs like the heart and lungs?
Well, that's, of course, the horrific question you would ask, but, and I'm asking it. I don't know, I don't have that answer, but if so, then we have a teenage boy trapped inside a 6-7-year-old woman.
Well, it seems from the experiences that she related that this has been a positive thing for her.
Well, sure.
And he is,
Yeah, but has it been a positive thing for him?
it seems to me from what she related that I would think that,
Well, let me ask you this way.
that he is helping her positively.
Okay, maybe so, but I'm a 51-year-old, soon-to-be 52-year-old man,
Right.
and if I suddenly, in essence, woke up inside the body of about an 11 or 12-year-old girl, I'd be really pissed off.
Well, if you believe at all in reincarnation, and I believe that you do, if you come back in the body of a baby. I know you without the knowledge that you have been here before immediately, but at any rate, another possibility is that I have heard people who have talked about having near-death experiences, and they remain near the body, even though they are out of that body, and they feel an attachment to the body and a sense of wanting to take care of that body. And suppose he has moved out, but he is remaining near, or has remained near, because she did say that as the years went by, that a lot was less diminished. And so maybe, he has gradually withdrawn himself from her. He's not actually attached to those organs, but maybe has been hanging around as a caretaker in a sense.
Oh, man.
It's been a while.
It is. Thank you. Thank you very much for the call. It's kind of wild. I mean, what if you were to wake up? I can only relate to myself, so I will. But if I were to wake up, say, in the body of a 12-year-old girl, knowing what I know, for one thing, I can tell you this. My attitude about men is poor. Very poor. I mean, knowing what I know about myself, under those circumstances, I would not be But it's West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art. It's Judy.
Hi, Trudy or Judy?
Judy.
Trudy. Judy? As in Tutti Frutti?
Judy.
All right. Where are you?
I'm in Northern California,
Okay.
and I want to talk about the TV. And also about, you mentioned some women who were vegetarian killed, and while they were pregnant,
I know.
700 women, and one thing that you left out about them is that they were, all of them, poor women.
Well, the Tuskegee, yes, you're correct. Tuskegee, of course, was black women.
Yes, well, and there are no words.
So I really think that it is totally proper to ask what you think we might be apologizing for 50 years from now. Which is another way of asking what do you think we're doing now. Do you think we're doing the same kind of horrible things now? I'll bet we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there's no doubt about it. You know, one thing that it makes it remind me of is that Joseph Mengele stuff being carried out after, you know,
It really is.
he left off.
It
Because
really
that's
is.
exactly what he was doing. It's racist, it's immoral, it's egregious, there are no words, it's unacceptable.
It's all of that. I couldn't agree more with you. It's all of that, and I'm sure we're doing it now. I have got the modern version of it involves things that would really be horrific. Things like
What are they putting in our water?
genetics.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the genetic experiments they're doing with their, I mean, they have all these public ethical committees that look into what should and shouldn't be done. It's all baloney. In the private sector, or the private government / sector, you know damn well they're doing these things.
And yes, absolutely. And also, I wanted to ask a question about the Hanford story, about an explosion or something that happened at the Hanford nuclear.
There were 8, indeed there was an explosion a good 30 miles away that did not, they're still saying, involve the release of any nuclear materials, but did flood, and 8 were taken to the hospital, apparently unhurt. Keyword apparently. So that's all we know right now.
Well, the thing is, after it was announced, I heard it on News Center on your show. I looked for it in the three newspapers, and I also, by the way, don't have a TV. So,
Well, they don't like to advertise anything. I mean, it gets on the news, and then as soon as they're able to, they drop it like a hot rod. I mean, rod.
there's nothing to know about it at all, but Miss Universe, you know.
Oh, what a beauty she! What a beauty! Miss
Yes,
USA.
he is. But, you know, we can give you some updates on Hanford, too, huh?
I gotta go.
You're listening to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring a replay of Coast to Coast AM from May 16, 1987.
Well, hello and welcome to the stream.
Tonight, an encore presentation of Coast to Coast AM from May 16, 1997.
I suspect love is probably the most important, powerful force in the universe. Do you ever wonder about that? The most powerful force in the universe? Probably love. Well, anyway, onward. Open lines tonight, all night long. You're certainly welcome to join in. I know what I want to get in. I promised you that every time we got an opening on one of our cruises, that I would let you know. We have, I think, one opening in Egypt. We're going to Egypt, actually Rome, we're going all over the place, October 1st. And I think there's one opening there, and I think there's one opening, or maybe two openings, left in Alaska. That's it, folks. And so every now and then when I get some openings in the cruises, I'll let you know. Stan Dale's going to be here Monday. People have been requesting the return of Stan Dale for a long time, and we've got it arranged. He will be our guest Monday night at the beginning of the program. Stan Dale from Australia. As I said, my network truly loves it when I have guests from Australia, Moscow. Stan is an expatriate living in Perth, Australia. Stan, I don't want to say was exiled to Australia. I'll let him explain that himself. And he's got a lot of new stuff. I understand his webpage has some dire warnings on it. And so we're going to inquire what that's all about and talk of many things with Stan Dale. He's a very unusual person. And all I can say is, you're not going to want to miss it. That's this coming Monday night, the beginning of the week. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Bill. Thank you for taking my call. Listen, my name is Mark. I'm in the aspiring actor in Los Angeles. The reason for my, I've had a couple of parts, but nothing real important, so I'm still kind of a struggling artist, as they call it. But I'm calling your show because I had my first out-of-body experience, and I was wondering if any of your listeners out there can describe a couple of things that's going on that I'm having a bit of trouble with. I've read about this thing for like 15 years now, and I've always tried it for years and years, and
Well, just describe what happened to you.
Well, as I got out the first time, I started saying to myself, out of body, I said, wow, this is it, I'm out of body, I've made it, I've done it. And I started roaming the hallways of the building where I am. I could walk through all of the things that are made of wood, but I couldn't seem to go through like the solid brick walls or doors. Right, and I could go through the elevator doors, and as I said, all the wood. But here's something that really, really bothers me, and that is, while I was walking, I saw James Cagney, the old actor.
Really?
Yeah, and I was telling him that I'm an aspiring actor, and I love his movies, and I'm really into comedies. And he said, well, why don't you go upstairs and talk to Laurel and Hardy? Maybe they can help you out. I'm going over here to a party at the Barrymores. And I started coming back and I'm like, what the world, sort of like this, right? Well, anyhow, I mentioned that to some of the people that live here in the building, some of the older people, and they mentioned it, I guess, to the manager or somehow or another. They went through the archives. This was like 2 weeks ago, and Tuesday this week they found out that in this building, James Cagney had in fact lived here. And
you're serious, aren't you? I was sitting here thinking there's a punchline coming to this, but there isn't. You're serious, huh?
No, this is a residential hotel building. And
wow,
not only did Cagney live here, but the Barrymore spent a few nights here. And Laurel and Hardy, we're on the 8th floor where I am. Laurel and Hardy had a suite up on the 11th floor. And I've only gotten out of party once since then, and there was like this gathering of people out in the hallway with tuxedos on. And I understand that this had been a place where some of the actors would come after the Academy Awards years ago.
Well, I guess you're in the right place. I mean, what I would say then, based on what you've said and what you like to do, I'd do it again, and I'd begin seeking advice. And who knows, You may rock it to the top. What is your first name?
My first name is Randy.
Randy. Not as in the amazing, just Randy. So Randy, I'm going to have to remember your name, because one day when it's way up in the lights, I'll know why. We'll all know why.
Wow. Well, if anyone has experienced an out of body or something that they could, some tip that they could give me on how I would go about it, can you actually ask these people for when you're out there like that?
The hell out of me, Randy. I've never done it. But we'll ask the audience, all right?
Thank you. And I didn't mean to give that fake name up front, but I just...
No, it's cool.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Hey, listen, one quick thing.
Yes, sir.
If you ever do make it big, do one thing for me.
And that is?
Use the name Randy.
You're amazing.
No!
No?
Hell no.
Okay.
No. Just use the name somehow Randy, all right?
Okay, I sure will.
All right, then we'll know. Thank you very much for the call. Pretty interesting, huh? What am I to say? West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello, Art. This
Hello.
is David in Denver.
David in Denver. Hi, David.
Yes, I was just wondering, whatever happened to Gordon Michael Stallion?
Well, Gordon is in retreat, and he has been for some time. Gordon began to be affected health-wise by what he was doing, and that's the last word I've had from him. He is not, at the moment, speaking publicly.
Oh, okay, because I know there's still, the Ring of Fire in the Pacific is still pretty active.
You better believe it. I know. If I could have Gordon on, I would do so, and when he becomes public again, I will.
Okay, yeah, I was just really interested because I hadn't heard him in a while, and I guess it's been a couple of years since
Yep.
I talked to him.
That's
and
why.
He's a very interesting person.
He's a very, very interesting person. Yes. So rest assured, when we can, we will have Gordon Michael Stallion back on. And those of you who can remember from those years ago the predictions that he made still have not manifested themselves. But, and people will from time to time send an email or something and say, see, he was wrong. No, he was not wrong. He said that when a certain cycle, a 3-cycle ring of fire series of earthquakes would occur, and it would have to be 3 in a row, that would complete a cycle that would begin a really serious group of earth changes. And we have never seen that cycle of 3 complete 3 times. So those who say he was wrong, you're wrong, because what he has predicted has not yet occurred. He only knew, people who do that kind of thing rarely, if ever, can give you a timeline. They can only say, when the following occurs, that will mean the following. And that's what Gordon Michael Stallion did. And we have not yet completed that cycle. We got very, very close once. We literally completed 2/3 of it. But the third part of the cycle never manifested itself. That's not yet. As the caller points out, it's pretty active out there right now. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Man, Art Bell, am I glad I got through to you.
I'm glad you did too. Where are you?
This is John in Nashville.
Yes, sir.
I was about 40 miles west on I-40 at 3:15.
This morning?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I've seen something.
What did you see?
You got to excuse me. I'm a little bit excited.
I understand. Just be calm and explain. Were you driving?
Well, I was driving. I drive a truck. And first of all, I hesitated calling because I have a lot of friends that listen to this show.
I hear you.
And anyway, coming from the south to the north, it was a bright white line. I don't know how to explain it other than that.
Well, try harder. When you say a line, what do you mean?
It was a horizontal bright white light. It looked like it was several miles long, and it was streaking across the sky.
No, wait. you've seen spotlights, right?
No, yeah, I have seen spotlights.
All right,
This
so
was
not like
an
that.
intense, bright white light with a beginning and an end, almost like a,
Which you could see in the sky.
yes, sir.
Okay.
And it was going horizontal, straight line,
All right.
and it took a little bit of a bend, and then it stopped. And when it stopped, the trailing, intense, bright white light, it was like it caught up to the initial object and collected into a bright white light. And I thought, well, it's a shooting star, but it stopped.
No, should no.
Then I looked closer, and it had red, green, and blue lights in a triangular shape. And I thought, well, it's a twinkling star. But the longer that I drove, I was about 40 miles west of Nashville.
How-
As I drove, I got closer to it.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Stop, pause for a minute. How high would you estimate it to be if you had to guess?
Cloud level, maybe
Cloud level.
several thousand feet.
All right, that would mean that it would have been seen over a very wide area. Would you
That's why
agree?
I'm calling in, is maybe someone in Middle Tennessee other than me has seen this.
All right.
I mean, I don't know what it was, and I hesitate to say, a spaceship or man-made or whatever.
No, you've done
But,
just fine.
Man, I've seen something that I wish you could have seen it.
I wish I could have too, but I can do the next best thing. I can see if anybody else saw it, and I will do that for you. All
All
right.
right, I tried to get through to you back in April. I had there's been stuff going on here. I know I don't know if you recall, it was in relation to Easter Sunday night with some relatives that were down from Chicago. And I've seen this again tonight. It's unbelievable.
All right, my folks.
Maybe someone else has seen it.
We'll find out right now. Thank you. If anybody else in that area saw what this man saw, call now. The numbers you would use would be, I guess, east of the Rockies at 1-800-825-5033, or the wildcard line 702-727-1222. That sounds like a pretty serious sighting. From what he described, it almost sounds like the Star Trek, something out of Star Trek when they would go into a warp drive, the way he described it. I should have asked him if that was roughly accurate. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hi. Whoops, wait a minute. Didn't press the button. There we go. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, this is Juanita in Fresno.
Hello, Juanita.
Hi. Earlier you had mentioned placing different parts of animals in humans, and you may have, you might not have known, they've been using porcine valves for heart valve replacements in humans for 20 years or so.
I'm aware of that, yes. But suppose it becomes more massive. Suppose we begin using hearts, lungs.
Well, they used a baboon heart in a little baby, and then the man with
But the baby did not live, you'll recall.
About 17 days, I think.
Yeah, not long, certainly not enough to know what we know about this 57-year-old lady.
Yeah. And then, of course, the man with AIDS, they replaced his blood totally with
baboon.
Was it baboon? I couldn't remember that.
Well, that's correct. And as far as I know,
he's still living.
That man is still alive.
Yeah.
And there would be obvious questions. But first of all, do you believe it's possible that the physical parts or blood of a person transferred to another could transfer some sort of genetic or holographic memory in those cells?
I wonder if it's that, or that the people have acquire an extrasensory, or already have an extrasensory perception that just becomes, shows up at that time.
I would tend to doubt that, and I would think that the theory, the holographic theory, works for me, and that is that you are in every part of you. In other words, all of your cells, all of your makeup contains the totality of you in some way. And that could be transferred.
Have you ever had a blood transfusion?
Never.
There's been a lot, I give my own blood to myself. There's a lot of people that won't take other people's blood, and what is it, Jehovah's Witness and a couple other religions won't even take blood because apparently they believe there's something
well, a man
to
said,
this.
that's right.
The life is in the blood.
That's right, ma'am. A man sent me back saying in Japan that they don't do organ transplants because they believe the soul is contained in the physical body.
I heard it slightly different, that in Japan they don't do it because their idea of dead is both brain and heart dead, where if you wait for the brain to die, the organs are dead by that time. And that's why the little girl came over.
Yeah, but the way I understand the harvesting of organs, aside from a horrible little 60 Minutes piece I saw not long ago, they're supposed to wait for brain death before they take any organs?
Not necessarily.
Well, I said they're supposed to.
It depends on if the person signed an organ donor card and whatnot. And there's things that can be given.
You can't sign a card that says you can take my parts while I'm dead.
Well,
you can't do that,
there's different ways of determining death.
Well, now you're onto it. And it may have been that, according to the piece I saw, they have been a little hurried, shall we say, in some cases, in declaring clinical death in order to harvest absolutely fresh parts.
That could be true, but if the brain, if only the brainstem is functioning, there's no way of the life returning. And in those cases, they normally, there's no heart or anything else going. It's only kept going artificially. And I think we've always used for heart and breathing death, rather than brain death or organ transplant.
We're getting some pretty dicey areas.
Yeah. I've heard several stories that they were in, like the Sun and things like that, of people who had transplants and like suddenly all of a sudden liking cigars and things like that.
Yeah.
But, I always sort of discounted those stories.
Well, so am I. I'm not so sure now.
Yeah. I wonder, do you know anybody who had a pig valve or porcine valve replacement? Or
not personally, no.
I did, and it was, I didn't like them. I didn't know her before, so I don't know if she had any.
You're not telling me that.
Changes. Well, she was very overweight.
It's disgusting.
But she did live another 10 or 15 years with it.
Did she tend to sort of, well, I hate to use the word.
Well, see, I don't know what she was like before.
Well, I was going to use the word wallow.
That?
Yes? Yeah, really wallow.
But see, I don't know what she was like before. She may have been like that before. So I was curious of whether, I can't remember hearing, for her, I knew for sure that what exactly she had done, and so I was curious of whether.
Well, look, if you were on your deathbed, I'm in on your deathbed, and you had an organ failure, and you could get a bunker organ, would you go for it?
Probably not, because...
Really? That's the only thing we've got available, ma'am. You're going to be dead inside of 24 hours unless you let us do this.
I probably would not have an option of that.
Well, I know, but I'm giving you that option right now.
I probably wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No, although I do know that porcine valves are, the closest thing.
Yeah, we're talking about an entire pig heart here. So.
I don't know, the pig heart...
Is that a yes or no?
Well, hello and welcome to the stream.
I
No, you
at
will.
other times.
All right. Oh, I hear you. Thank you very much for the call. We're going to break here at the bottom of the hour.
Well, hello and welcome to the stream.
I know a lot more than I can say. On my website now, the second photograph, a worldwide exclusive of the alleged interview with an interrogation of an alien creature at Area 51. It was sent to me this afternoon and placed on the website about an hour prior to broadcast time tonight. It is a remarkable photograph, and here is a fax. I printed that photo on your website and have looked at it as carefully as possible under gross magnification. The size of the alien's cranium is amazing. This is not the configuration that one would see in a human. Of course, the eyes are not only large, but note the significant symmetrical light reflex. The dot might shine in each eye in response to the photo lighting source. The doctor, in quotes, appears to be demonstrating features of the mouth. If you look at the posture of both his hands and their position, it has a truly professional feel, in quotes, as well. If we could see the physician's face, particularly his eyes, I think we could get even more information. I don't know for sure, Art, given the limitations of this photo, but it looks real to me. Wow, what a picture. Yes, I know. And next week, Saturday at midnight Pacific, Victor, using a voice-changing device, is going to be here. And we're going to find out as much as we can. So, we are actually privy now to 2 worldwide exclusives. One, of course, being the photograph that we have up there for you to look at now, and the other being the opportunity, even with a voice changer, to question Victor about what really happened in that interrogation room, about details. It's going to be absolutely fascinating, and I appreciate the opportunity to be doing this, and I'm trying to put together in my head exactly how I want to do it. I will treat Victor as I do all my guests, and I will allow Victor to tell his story as he wishes to tell it, and then you may be the judge of the veracity of what you hear. But I'm looking forward to that opportunity. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, you know this actual birth abortion stuff?
Yeah.
Well, there was a mother and father who was going to have their daughter testify in Washington, D.C.
What?
Was going to have a 5.5-year-old daughter.
They have a 5.5-year-old daughter, and what
These people were going to the hearing for the partial birth abortion.
and the 5.5-year-old was going to testify to say what?
Well, she wasn't allowed in. Barbara Buck. That's where they said,
Well, no, sir, hello. What was she going to say?
yes, in the show she was helping, I guess, play computer games and stuff. You know.
In other words, she was
Well, she was supposed to have been
aborted?
partially birth aborted. Yeah.
No. Okay.
And some of the people in Washington, D.C. there, and I guess Barbara Box who worked around and said, no, the fetus cannot be there. So how could she be a fetus at 5.5 years?
Well, she's not a fetus.
I know.
Well, that's just stupid.
I know.
All right, well, that's dumb. She's not a fetus. So, I find that a little hard to swallow. I mean, a 5.5-year-old child is not a fetus. Period. My attitude on abortion is that if truly the mother's life is at risk, in other words, if proceeding with the birth at the last minute in an emergency situation, a true emergency, not a choice of convenience, because that's morally reprehensible, and it's the equivalent of murder. However, if at the very last moment there is a choice between the life of the child and the life of the mother, and there is a near certainty that to continue with that, I mean, I can only tell you what I would do in my own case, all right? If my wife was pregnant, and the moment of birth was approaching, and the doctor came to me and said, if we proceed, there's almost a certain chance your wife is going to die, I would say proceed with the abortion. Assuming my wife at that point would be under some sort of general anesthetic or something, and I was the only one who could make the choice. To me, it would be a no-brainer. It sure wouldn't be easy, but that sure as hell would be my answer. I would not be prepared to lose my wife. Would you? But then the other side of the coin is the politics that play with it, and that is that give them an inch and they'll take a mile, and if we are aborting children at the last minute, sucking their brains out, the scissors business and all that, for convenience, or even more horribly because you don't like the sex or something else of that child, then it's murder. Otherwise, it's a life versus a life, like the scales of justice. You've got to make a choice. Oh, a horrible choice, and I hope to hell I never have to make it. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Yes, it is. Are you talking to this person?
I am, depending on who this person is.
Unusual. This person's Amos. I just heard you make a remark about...
Amos, would you turn your radio off?
Oh, where is it?
I don't know.
Hold on a minute.
You're there, I'm not.
It's pretty late.
I'll hold while you turn it off, Amos, at least for the moment.
I got it. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I just wanted to tell you my background is medicine, and I followed this business quite well. And I think if you only had on the person that, I don't even mention it, but it's used the Black Avenger had on one day about 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You would know for sure that the doctor alone makes the determination, and he makes it a long time before there's any danger. The people are lined up in the rows for this thing. They do several, every doctor does several of them in a day, and the people are in the 2 or 3 days ahead of time to get themselves opened up. And then when you do it, you...
Okay, well, that's not...
Now, wait a minute. Yes, it is murder. Absolutely.
I have no idea with you, but also, hold it, sir. There are times when there are last-minute emergencies. God knows lots of women have, sir, lots of women have died in childbirth.
Well, yes, there are quite a few dying in childbirth. Most of them because they're doing it without a doctor at all. As my mother did, how many of us? 7 out of 9. And I'm the first. So,
That's up to them.
no, what that's these partial births, you must know that the baby is healthy, the toes are twinkling and moving, the doctor turns it around and pulls it out.
Sir, I know what...
Only the face is inside the womb.
I know.
I don't think there's any excuse for thinking the woman's life is in danger.
Oh, yes, there is.
I don't think if it's 1 out of 1,000.
Well, if it's 1 out of 1,000...
You shouldn't have a doctor determine the other 999 are going to be killed and murdered.
I don't disagree.
I'm glad you know. Now that I have you, and it's the first time I've been able to reach you in almost 2 years. I dial sometimes for an hour and a half in a row, the phone rings and rings, and then
I know.
the operator cuts it off, and I know everything. But my background is in medicine and science and in history in the last 15 years.
Yes.
I'm in my 84th year, and I'm very, very adamant about the great lie that's being promoted for 51 years now, that is, according to Dr. Henry Morris, the basis of all harmful philosophies and evil practices in the world today.
Which is what?
And that is this damned evil, bloody religion called science. I'm speaking of the pagan religion of evolutionists. There's not a stick of science to support it, not one tiny iota.
Okay,
That I'll stick now. I would like to be.
all right, sir.
I would like to offer to be on the program tonight.
Well, you can offer if you wish, but on the face of it, you're beginning with something that is simply not true. You can't say there's not one stick of science, one shred of scientific evidence that evolution is true. There's all kinds of evidence that evolution isn't true. I'm sorry. Your statement is simply totally inoperative. It may not be a conclusive done deal, but your statement that there's not one shred of evidence indicating that evolution is a fact is absolutely ridiculous. So there would be no argument with you. You're accepting that as a matter of conviction, like a religion. So there would be no arguing with you. And with regard to the abortion, I'll simply refer you to what I said a little while ago. Even if it's 1 in 1,000, if a doctor told me that to continue with the pill would kill my wife, I'm telling you right now, there would be no choice. I would say save my wife. And if you or anybody else got in my way, you'd have immediate physical problems. Do you understand? So I don't begrudge you, sir, your belief system. But you try and get in the way of my wife's life, and yours would be worth 2 cents if you call it.
pagan reason is not Christian, number one. That's according to their definition.
You mean the Christian definition? Don't give me the Christian definition. Give me your definition.
My definition?
Yes.
Well, you know, I've never been out that before.
I specialize in this.
I know that.
I mean, you're saying I'm a pagan. Okay, so what's the problem? What do you believe that causes you to say I'm a pagan? Forget the dictionary definition. Let's hear Ken's definition of what a pagan is. Somebody who's broken all 10 commandments. Somebody who does not believe there is a creator.
Oh no, I don't know the God of Jesus. I think they made their own.
Somebody who worships idols.
Yes, and I
Remember when Moses was up there getting the tablets and they were down there worshiping?
Well, hello and welcome to the stream.
So do you worship the golden calf? Or another type of idol like that?
I don't worship.
How about the dollar bill? Yeah, I go with a class of language here, you know.
Yeah, I have this all of that, but the $100 bill is just based on price.
I'm wondering who did that. I'm going to read up the dollar bill. worships some sort of example, a good example. And I think that God may be known by many names, and one of them may be Buddha, Muhammad. There may be many names for our Creator, not just one.
What that woman should, what I believe the woman should say is that she's sleeping.
Well, I don't think she is looking.
Well, looking sleeping is in the body
Well, maybe she is looking. I'll tell you what, you're wicked? You are. You are. You're a witch.
Next unusual tradition.
Well, let's not mince words here, but a wiccan is a witch, yes?
Yeah. And they were, Wiccan is male or female, and Wiccan is not female.
Did you see the clip?
I think I've seen the previews of it.
How long have you been a wiccan?
I initiated about a year ago.
About a year ago.
I used to be.
Look, I have a break here. Can you hold on through the news? Hang in there. Just rest easy on your boom. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Arkel Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring a replay of Coast to Coast AM from May 16, 1997.
You one?
Yes.
And I told you that I tried that out of curiosity.
Yes, I recall.
Yeah, you kind of
Well, there's a times 3 rule in talk radio, too. By the time you call 3 times, you've got...
Well, this one was a question.
Yeah, but I mean, collectively, you understand. All right, I got a lot. Thank you very much for the call. From Dave in Ukiah, Dave says, Art, I have an artificial heart valve made of titanium. I've had it for a year and a half now, and how do you take it, Dave? You squirt it, or use one of the spray bottles, and just sort of slosh it around in your mouth and swallow. Now, to answer the question of the people in the chat room right now on AOL, yes, it is me. Every now and then I just pop in there. If you would like to join us, feel free. Marathon on. Go to keyword. Now you check keyword up there. And just type in Art Bell, my name. It'll take you to a place called the Periscope area, and you just click on the grass and knoll chapter. The grass and knoll chapter. I always thought that was a particularly intriguing name for a chapter, the grass and knoll. And I am in there presently. Every now and then I just pop in, and whenever I do, there is an immediate big argument about whether it's really Art Bell or not. Yes, really neat. So if you'd like to join us, you're on AOL, that's the way you do it. The way to get there is just keyword, just type in my name, and then click on the grass and knoll chapter. Wildcard Line, you're on the air. Good morning.
This is Phil from Little Rock, Arkansas.
How's everything in Little Rock this morning?
Oh, it's just great.
Good.
We in the Christian world consider you a new age voice kind of the wilderness. All the subjects that you talked about, all things that,
Actually, sir, you probably consider me the Antichrist.
no, so
The devil's cooking.
we hear these things,
Talk about it.
it says for us to look up our redemption draws now, that Jesus is coming, and that's what you call the quickening, all the
Entirely possible.
things
In truth, there are a lot of people who think I'm the devil himself. And I think it is equally possible that what I call the quickening will lead to the return of our Lord. And I don't rule that out, despite what a lot of people think. I think it's as possible as any of the other things we talk about.
Well, I believe that this program is one of the most necessary things in today's age. The information that we're given, the subjects that are talked about.
You don't want to be trying to get in, go and record it, and run out of town on a rail, or top of the rail gun.
No, I think you should come on earlier in the night and stay on longer.
You go.
It's really refreshing and delightful. I've studied all the subjects that you talked about for 25 years now.
You really can let it come out. I'll tell you what I want you to do, okay?
Okay.
All weekend long this weekend, let's try and explain it. I want you to concentrate as hard as you can on the idea of me coming on early.
Okay.
Okay? I'll promise me to try that.
I'll be praying about it.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. East of the Rockies, you are on the air. Hello, Cindy. So you just keep dialing. shredded wheat with James Bond, especially if you get, I mean, nobody can take shredded wheat without milk, right?
He didn't say. He just said that seemed to be the only thing that all the people had in common was just shredded wheat. And most of them ate a lot of it. This even happened to a 17-year-old schoolgirl who walked home from school one day. She was bursting at talking.
I don't want to believe that could occur.
Or if you get so big, we're going to become affiliates now?
Yeah.
Good Lord, I've been trying to dial it for 2 hours. I looked at these for 4 years, and I used to be able to get here every time.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people out there. I really try real hard not to think about that.
Well, hey, look, I ordered absolutely fresh flowers for my mother for Mother's Day.
Oh, did you?
Oh, we had flowers for the neighbors, flowers for work.
It really is the deal.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you some other time. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling. Take care. I don't want to think about this thing that you just did. Hello, Ardell. This is Dean from Venice. Are you familiar with the program company? Yes, I am actually, Dean. This fax is informative of the topic for those of you who did not see it. I believe you'll find it interesting and hope you'll discuss it on your show. We covered alien life forms, mainly microbiological and bacterial poison. They stated that a probe was sent to the moon before the Apollo mission. In that probe was a solar panel that an installation technique the technicians seized on. Bacteria left on the panel was launched to the moon. The probe stayed on the moon for 2 years in a zero-oxygen-friendly radioactive environment. When the Apollo NASA mission retrieved the probe, they discovered the bacteria to be alive and active. Scientists are concerned that bringing soil samples back from Mars could contain microbial life forms that are not killed by the harsh environment of space. They spoke about the very real possibility that these life forms could have serious negative impact on Earth. If you have seen this Nightline segment, I would like to hear your opinion and ask you to open the topic for discussion. Yeah, sure. Dean, by the way, thank you for the fax, Dean. I think that's pretty good evidence that such a thing is indeed possible. And that if we bring back material objects, rocks, whatever, such a thing could occur. However, bear in mind that the Earth is constantly being bombarded by meteorites of various sizes, many of which do not turn up in the atmosphere, one of which we now know contains microbial life from Mars. So, if that danger was real, then we should have already been infected by it, and perhaps are infected by it, and one day we'll be infected by something from somewhere else that doesn't quite burn up completely in the atmosphere. So I would think the risk of bringing back something from Mars would be no bigger than we experience as a general basis as meteorites re-enter and make it. This is my call. West of the Rockies or on the Atlantic? Hey there.
Hey, this is Joe from Yellow Hole, Washington.
There is no such term.
Yeah, well, you know Yellow Hole, right?
Of course.
I was the guy that called you about the hose reel, remember? Trying to reel up the fishing line.
The 80,000 feet.
Yeah, 80,000 feet of monofilament. Told you put it on a garden hose reel.
Yeah.
Now you know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, I just got in from the field, and I know she talked about some pretty obscure stuff here.
I always do.
Well, I got a couple riddles for you. It was given to me by my father. And they seem pretty simple and pretty innocent enough, but maybe you want to go over them. There might be somebody out there that can give you a better answer to them that I've come across.
Let me hear it. I generally don't like this.
Okay. Dad, the first thing Dad told me was, how can you say you've been there if you've never been there before? That was one.
I think
Well,
I have to do it.
let me stop you right there. How can you say you've been there if you've never been there before? Where is the riddle in that? It's common sense.
It's just, no, it's a thing. It was something to think about.
Why?
Well, I guess it means deja vu, maybe. See, and then the other one is...
Well, that's the answer to the riddle.
I don't know.
What do you know what the definition of deja vu is?
You've been there before.
You feel that you've been there before.
Right.
Even though you have not. So if that is a riddle, that is the answer.
Right, and that's what I thought it was.
All right, well, I'll hear one more from you.
Okay, the second one is, learn to see beyond the end of your nose, and you shall know the ways of life.
Grasshopper.
No, my dad was halfway within you.
All right, well, that's something that would have been said to Grasshopper probably in one of the early grades. All right. What about the numbers? And the Chinese. First time calling a line, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes, good morning, Art.
Good morning.
This is my first attempt this morning to call you.
You see? Now, see, you get people on here that have been saying, I've been calling from you to him. And then you get somebody, of course, that's why we have the first time caller line.
Well, I will tell you, it's not without great diligence this morning. My name is Brian, and I'm calling from Friendswood, just near Houston.
All right.
And you have gone off the air, but I keep on trying. We pick you up at about 1 a.m., and we carry you until 4 a.m.
That seems reasonable.
It is. I wish you could be on longer.
I wish we could too.
Even more so.
But I mean, you know, radio stations have things they do.
Very true, very true. As a matter of fact, I've done a little radio time myself on the West Coast.
It's sometimes like doing jail time, huh?
Very much so. Very much so. You have to stick to a schedule. Everyone does.
That's exactly right. And at the same time, every night the door closes.
Yes, it does. I've got 3 basic topics I would like to ask you real quick, each one being very short.
Right.
Number 1, have you seen the latest issue of Popular Mechanics?
The movement of Area 51.
Correct.
I don't believe it.
That's what I was going to ask you, whether it was information or disinformation.
I would say disinformation. That'd be my take on it.
I read the article. It seemed rather apropos for this time.
Yeah, see, they've annexed more land around what we know as Area 51, and so why do that if you're going to move it? Next question.
Very much so. Your book, The Quickening.
Yes.
I was going to mention to you that it very much falls in line with the sign of the times.
Oh, I know.
I don't want to be biblical with you, but...
yeah, that's right. You can be, as long as it's not put in Scripture.
Oh, well, I guess I can.
That's right, you can.
But it is very much like the woman in labor. You know how the...
Yes. Yeah, the first, actually, that's one definition of the quickening, is the first feeling or flutter of life.
Very much so. You have the pain becomes greater, and it becomes quicker.
Yeah, I didn't name it that lightly. Third topic?
That third topic is Father Malachi. I heard earlier this evening a gentleman talking about Father Malachi.
That's right.
I listened to your program a few nights ago with Father Malachi on the show, and to my amazement, I have 2 jobs. I'm a screenwriter during the day, and I deliver papers at night.
Yeah.
Don't ask me, that's very strange. I was listening to the program, and one of the stops that I made talked with me and said, did you know that Father Malachi is on? And I said, where have I heard that? I'm listening to it now. Listening to Art Bell talking with this gentleman, and for the last half hour I've been trying to figure out, where have I heard Father Malachi before? Well, I just happened to be reading his book.
Oh, Windswept House?
Yes. No, sir. It is The Keys of This Blood.
Right, that's right.
One of his older books.
Yes. Sir, I'm going to have to cut out on you here.
Okay.
Bottom of the hour, thank you. And I will mention this just to the audience quickly. My book is going to be ready to ship out on Tuesday. You can still get a first edition, second printing copy of the quickening. Still can get a signed copy, autographed copy. You can order right now, and they'll ship on Tuesday.
You're listening to Art Metal somewhere on time on Premier Radio Networks. The non-canonical presentation of Crystal.
Anything goes east of the Rockies. You're on the air. Oh, by the way, good morning, Abe.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you.
You were talking earlier about in 50 years what the president then will be apologizing for.
Well, first of all, let me first ask you, do you think it's probable that in another 50 years we will have to be apologizing for what we're doing today?
Probably.
Yeah, me too. All right, so what do you think?
The way it's going with cloning, it'll probably be the Clinton clone in 50 years.
Clinton? You mean, well?
Yeah, they went back and got his DNA and cloned Clinton.
There's reason enough right there to get through. We need a law. Because, Clinton, good, bad, or whatever, has the ability, I think, to become endlessly reelected. And if they could clone him, that would mean a Clinton future for our grandchildren and their grandchildren, and on and on.
The living nightmare. What I call it, you ought to have somebody talking, being with them when you talk to Victor.
Whether
I the reverse speech guy. That way you don't know Victor's telling the truth.
No, because he can't do it instantly. That's got to be a sort of a thing later. It takes time to review and then come back later. But I don't, you know what, good question. I wonder if they can do reverse speech with a voice changer.
That's what I was wondering when you started talking like it. But if you thought about that reverse speech guy doing the interview you had with the man at Phil Linton,
Area 51?
Yeah.
That'd be a winner. That'd be a winner. And I'll tell you what else I've had a lot of requests for. Reverse speech analysis of the NASA guys.
First, we click and phone to the NASA people telling the truth. I don't know if the world can take it.
Well, I've heard a number of reversals on President Clinton. And now that you've brought it up again, I say again, we must have a law. Thank you very much for the call. And that's really too intense to even contemplate. Even if you like President Clinton. Now surely you wouldn't want an indefinite future with Clinton after Clinton after Clinton after Clinton. Now I couldn't even take that with George Bush. West of the Rockies? Oops, no you're not. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Art. This is Jerry in St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, Jerry.
I thought about something that we were talking about earlier as far as people, about people using other people's organs.
Yes.
Let's say somebody would put a serial killer or somebody's organs in. That's something to think about.
I thought about it myself, yeah. That'd be pretty awful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I asked you once before, what's the name of the music you play on Dreamland?
It's called the O of Pleasure.
O of Pleasure.
The O of Pleasure.
And who's the group or the person who plays?
I forget who does that. Can't remember.
Okay, well, thanks.
I'm sorry, I usually know, I can usually remember, but now that you've asked, I cannot remember.
Okay. Hey, sir.
This is the music that he's referring to, since he mentioned Dreamland. Let me see here. You know what we're going to be talking about this week? Dreams. Dreams. Dr. Robert Langs is the author of the Dream Workbook and the Daydream Workbook. And we are going to take a medical look at dreams. A scientific medical look at dreams. This is not dream interpretation. We're going to be talking about dreams from a medical point of view on Dreamland this week. Don't miss it, coming up Sunday. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning.
This is Rick calling you from the LA area.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I once requested that you have Colonel James Bannon on, and I called his office, and they said that he's supposed to come on sometime on 11 o'clock show, and it is our bell show.
Well, I have received no such communication, so I don't know how they could be saying that.
Did you call him?
I think I did make the call, but there was no schedule set up, as I recall. We didn't finalize anything, so...
Should I have them call you again?
Well, yes, have them fax me or something, yes.
Because they called me 1-800 West of the Rockies line. It's probably right, because they're east of the Rockies, so I got to get in the east of the Rockies line.
That would make all the sense in the world. Better yet, give me a fax number.
Oh, I don't have it, Art.
It's, you want it ready?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Area code 702
702
727
727
8499.
8499.
Yes.
You've got to have him on there, Art. He's got a lot to say about the Flight 800.
All right, I'll listen.
Okay, thank you, Art.
Right, take care. I'll certainly listen. We were touching on that last night, the Flight 800 business with Richard Pullman. And Richard did point out something kind of interesting. On television, they have never shown the other side of the plane. They always say there is no apparent impact or exit point. As you know, in other words, if a missile hit an airplane, presumably there would be an impact showing an inward flexing of the metal of the fuselage as they put it back together again. And he did point out there's something that is, I think, right, and that is whenever they show the plane, they only show one side of it. They never get a camera look around at the entire airplane. That doesn't mean that there's something they're hiding, but he did make a pretty good point. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hello? I can barely hear you, ma'am. Do you have a ringtone there?
No, just running for a while.
All right, that's better. That's better. Just get right into it.
Okay, yeah, a woman was calling a while back talking about brain death.
Uh-huh.
I'm a physical therapist and I've worked in physical therapy for 9 years and involved in several...
Talk into that phone, ma'am.
So I've been involved in several organ donation
Right.
cases, and we've got 2 criteria. I don't know if it's different in other states, but in Washington, they have to have no spontaneous respiration, then no brain function other than brainstem. You're not technically brain dead, but
Well, there was a 60 Minutes piece several weeks ago in which there was no doubt about it, man. Before some of the things you just talked about occurred, they were harvesting organs.
Yeah, I think it depends on the nature of the injury of the patient. If there's pretty much no brain function other than just baseline, they usually won't.
Okay, well, I appreciate the call, but I'm not going to hold you on the line because you're just drifting away from your phone. When you call, you've got to stay right into the phone. Pretty soon we're not hearing you. Some people have a habit of doing that, though. Make a call, and the phone, as they're talking, will slowly drop down further and further until it's finally laying on their chest. You can't do that. You'll drop right in the phone. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art. It's David from Richmond.
Hi,
David. I've been difficult getting a hold of you, but now this is the questions or the little information that I have for you about Mr. Rosenthal. When you had Richard Hoagland on the air,
yes,
Friday, Saturday, April 25th and 26th, Richard said to, hey, everybody call the national news of Ted Koppel and Mr. John Harmon.
Yes.
Well, I knew that the papers all copying AP, so I called AP service, and they direct me to this science writer called, guess what, Mr. Rosenthal. And so I thought you would like to know that I believe I referred Hoagland's website as, they're all on hold. They're never able to really hear. They hear just some of the main points. And I said, look, NASA has decided they're not going to Europa. You know how important that was to most of us who thought there was life there, or that there's a possibility of life there.
Yes.
They said for $100 million, the cost, the cost of a bomber, we could spend a...
Well, now, wait a minute. Who were you actually speaking with?
Mr. Rosenthal.
You were speaking?
Yes, I was.
Gary Rosenthal.
Yes, I was. And so he said, thank you very much, and I got the website address. I can't remember if I gave the phone number for Richard Hoagland, but I certainly gave the website address if he was interested in that. I also talked to John Holman. I happened to get a hold of him. And he said, we've already checked into that, and, they are going to do like like that was false.
Well, that's not entirely true. What the man from NASA said was that there will be other missions, and because of the intense interest in Europa, it probably will be done.
Well, but it was for way in the future.
That's right.
Holland just said it wasn't true. Now, but then you had the NASA people on there, and they said they weren't going.
Well, they said that in the present, with regard to present decisions that have been made, with regard to the proposals that were made, Europa's proposals, quote, did not make the cut.
That's right, exactly. That's why I was confused. So that's why I sent you a fax and all this, but you get lots of faxes. I don't know if you sent a fax yesterday. I don't know if you received it. But I did have a news service telephone number for the AP News Service if you're interested in that.
Well, I can't give it out on the air until,
for the AP News Service telephone?
Yeah.
Because I knew you had this.
Well, hello and welcome to the stream.
But, that was confirmed, and, on the possibility that we get a number wrong, we're in big trouble, so...
Well, this is what the people here gave me as their telephone man. Of course, anyway, also Dan Golden was on Nightline this past week, I think it was. They had a thing on Nightline. Did you realize about the mirror subsidies?
Yes.
He was very defensive in his answer.
Well, I think that's right. NASA is very defensive right now, thank you, about their mere involvement. A lot of congressmen are beginning to get a little irritated with regard to our involvement with MEAR. Why are we involved with MEAR? You ask yourself that question. Why are we launching space shuttle missions to maintain MEAR? Why are we contributing oxygen equipment to keep MEAR going? Why do we have an American on a spacecraft that I don't think is entirely safe, despite what NASA said I require? don't have the answer to any of those questions. I would like to proceed with our own space station. Instead, we have joined the Ruskies for whatever reason. It really never has been explained satisfactorily. So I'll leave it at that for now. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Bell.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Mike. I'm calling from Missouri, Columbus.
Hi, Mike.
A couple of weeks ago, you were talking about you had an author or someone who's in a book called This Is His Hammer.
Yes.
And we just finished reading it.
Dr. Jerry Cornell. It is a wonderful book.
Yes, it's very good. I'm just wondering if you have on your webpage, is there anything with similar good book reads? Anything?
I suppose I ought to construct a list like Wayne Green does of books that you absolutely have to read. But presently I do not have that now. But it's a good idea. If you get a cat page, we can have a book page.
That's true. One quick question.
Yes.
Did you ever hear from George Lucas?
No, but I'd love to.
Because I've read all of his books and it's just discussing as well with his creating, his mind and all that.
Oh, I'd love to. He'd be a blast to have on, sure.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. I won't have anybody on if you haven't figured that out yet. Virtually from any discipline at all. Anybody who is interesting, I'll have on. Happy to. I don't, to me there are no limits. Why would anybody want to set limits for what they would do with regard to, say, a program like this Talk Radio? Why would you want to set limits? Foolish. And yet the entire industry does it. One day they'll figure it out. Like the old liners in Talk Radio have this vision that Talk Radio must be political. It must discuss things like the budget, the balanced budget. Newt Gingrich is fine. The president's latest malady or problem with some lady who's going to assume that, whatever. It's like they have an idea that is what Talk Radio must be, and they have this narrow vision of it. One of these days, they'll open their eyes. Hopefully before their pocketbook evaporates. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. This is Fred up in Tacoma.
Hi there.
Hey, I was just going to refer back to that one that was on about an hour and a half ago with the transplants with the cravings and such.
Yes.
I went to that transplant about 2.5 years ago, and about 6 months after I had the transplant, I started craving root beer for a real long time.
What was transplanted?
Oh, my liver.
Your liver?
Yeah.
And you started wanting root beer?
Oh, yeah, really bad. You have to go to the drive-in and have this really strong craving for root beer. And I had this craving for like a year and a half. And it just tapered off, and it was strange.
Well, do you know who the donor was?
No, I don't.
Do you want to know?
I think at this point, no.
And previous in your life, you had not ever particularly been a root beer kind of person?
This is true. I was more of a Coca-Cola type person.
Dave up in Ukiah sent me a guy saying that he had an artificial heart valve. And he's had a craving for WD-40 ever since. That he's made of titanium.
Wonder how he gets it in.
I don't know. He sprays it. Maybe he snorts it.
Oh man, that'd be painful. It would too, huh?
Well, yes, it would. It certainly would. Thank you, sir. Take care. The only way you could verify whether the organ was causing that craving would be to research your donor and find out if that person talked to the family and had a big thing for root beer. And, I'd say there's better than not that they did. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hello, Ardell.
Hello there. Where are you? Arlington, Texas.
I was your first caller when you came to 570.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Listen, I know you're almost out of time, and I wanted to let you know, along the lines of apologies, what the president, about 2 or 3 nights ago, I heard on one of the other local stations, I think it was the national news feed, they said that, in I think 1961 or 1962, the government sprayed, some kind of a thing like with a crop duster. Anyway, it was a cancerous agent. And
Where?
Over at the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, also Waco and Disney.
Oh my God! Listen.
Well, hello and welcome to the stream.
Here again, I am in an open line session. Anything you want to bring up is fair game. Talking about that Bob Dole's statement yesterday and whether he really meant it, whether it came from the heart or the White House reflected eyeballs. Here's a fact on the subject. Our Bob Dole could be committing political suicide by keeping this anti-Hollywood thing up. It's quite obvious that he has not seen Natural Born Killers, and if he did, you'd see the message is about how we, the public, tend to glorify the OJs, the Tony Hardings, and the Loretta Bobbitts, and how we tend to become obsessed with the real-life details of their crimes. If Bob Dole wants to be president, he needs to focus on the issues which are on the people's minds. It certainly isn't government regulation of what Hollywood puts on the screen. It's crime, the economy, and welfare reform. People who want Hollywood television productions regulated to me are lazy parents. They simply want to be able to drop their kid off at a theater, and they want to drop their kid on a boob tube and be done with it. Well, they try purity. I do it. I enjoy it. Bob needs to do the right thing, stick to the real issues, and don't play with the religious right which Catholic Canada seems to have a happy home with. In Grant's Paris. That was a well-written Eric, I think, right point. I want to now repeat that we're going to be reading the Pope's predictions for the year 2000 because of the very now close date of June 5th mentioned in the night. We'll do it only once, and we'll do it next hour when we have the final radio station for the evening joining us. We'll do it in the next hour. And that way, we'll have people calling back and saying, oh, I missed it, and you're going to have to read it again, which I inevitably do. So get ready for that next hour. On the Wildfire line, you're on the air. Hi.
Good morning, Art. Jerry from Minneapolis.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi. Real quickly, Eric is right on principle but wrong on tactics. Religious rights are the balance of power. They're the twin both.
I think that may well be true for the right, yes,
real quickly, first off, does your cartoon friend in, I believe it's Phoenix, have the bubble with Top Killer, and Natural Born Killers inside of it, leading over to the gunman who is probably young and is running around the street and killing people? Much like you were playing along with our pod radio.
Well, I was going to say you could do something like that and just put an extension on your neck and go my name again.
Well, let's have a little consistency here. The First Amendment either absolute right, responsibility applies,
No,
or it's politically correct.
No, it's very well made point. I mean, very well made.
Also, one more thing, Art. It was a little over a year ago, probably almost 2 years ago now, that Jared Leto was calling for specific laws and censorship against these same Hollywood types. Bob Dole was only suggesting to act responsibly. I'm not a defender of Bob Dole, but he was asking on a voluntary basis.
Oh, it's true. I know, all of that is true. I think the question is more whether this is something that Bob Dole really feels as an issue, something important to him, or just something he thinks he needs to say.
Oh, he's just a classic technical politician. I don't have much, I'm not too impressed by him, but I'm just marveling at the malicious irony of listening to liberals talking today about how he has no right to say this. And how can they defend what's going on in Hollywood? And yet, Janet Reno, they never gnashed their teeth 2 years ago when she was speaking up asking for law.
Well, I'll tell you, thank you. I'll tell you what CBS said. They observed that this may be difficult for President Clinton because a lot of money and a lot of support, of course, come from Hollywood to the president. And if the right makes Hollywood a big issue, it may be that Mr. Clinton will have to sort of sidle away from his close Hollywood connections. CBS seems to be nearly bemoaning that possibility. Nevertheless, I want to be fair, what Bob Dole said has value. The trouble is that I don't think he believes it. I don't think it's a real conviction of his. Doggone it anyway. I'm sorry that I have to be saying these things about Bob Dole. Because actually he's a good man. Bob Dole is a good man. It's just that he's as far into the bureaucracy of Washington as MGM is into that of the movie world. And, I just don't think he's the man to beat Bill Clinton. So I really hate being negative about Bob Dole. But I'm going to say what I think. And I think that what he did is political opportunism, and that's it. On the wildcard line, you're on the air. Hi.
Yeah, Marcel there.
Well, let me check. Art? Yes, hello, this is Art.
Hello, this is Wayne from Index, Washington.
Wayne, would you turn off your radio?
Oh, certainly. So are we on the air?
Well, I hope so.
You hope so? I didn't hear it this time I got on my radio.
Uh-huh.
I had a gentleman call about the Scallion phone number.
Yeah.
And he also has another number of his hotline. He updates it every Wednesday at 12. And,
yeah, I'd rather not give that one out. I think it's a 900 number.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, let's not get that out. We'll let him give that out.
Okay. And I was going to ask you about, these big satellite dishes up on top of the hills you see.
Yes.
And are they capable of aiming directly at laser beams? Like, laser warfare, kind of this weird green effect. Just wondering.
Well, general satellite dishes are exactly that, satellite dishes. Now, I'm not familiar exactly with what a laser would look like, but I think it would not look like a satellite dish. So it would obviously have to have some reflective properties. So I really can't answer your question. Thanks for talking to Mark.
All right, well, thank you.
Right, I have no idea, sir. Thank you. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, is this Art?
Yes.
Yes, this is Two Birds from Gates, Oregon.
Gates, Oregon.
Right.
Your name is Two Birds?
Right.
Okay.
I'm Indian.
Oh, I guess that would be a Native American name. Okay. Okay, Two Birds, welcome.
Yeah. information. There's been a lot of talk about conspiracy theories lately.
Americans love them.
Yes, well, I happen to have some information about a conspiracy about the...
That can't be. I mean, if it is fact, then it is not a conspiracy. It's fact.
Oh, well,
conspiracy by its very nature is a theory, right? Well, wait, I guess you could be convicted of a conspiracy. Sure. Okay, I see. All right, all right. Okay, two birds, let's get to it. What is it?
Okay, I don't know if you're familiar about the original, the true 13th Amendment to the Constitution.
You mean an amendment that's not there now?
Right. There was an amendment that was ratified on December 10th, 1812. And due to a conspiracy of fat cats and their agents working to undermine the Constitution, they arranged to have it disappear over a period of 70 years.
Wow.
And
you mean like one word instead of time? Just
no, they got control of the publishing industry, and through bribery and so forth, they...
You mean like disappearing ink?
Well, no, it was like on a state-by-state basis. It disappeared from the law books in one state, and then another, and then another. And by the time the last incident that we've been able to discover was 1876.
And what was this 13th Amendment that was disappeared?
Okay, brief, I can read the text of it.
No, just give us the idea.
Well, it's just basically it's one long sentence.
Which says roughly what?
Okay, it says, if any citizen of the United States shall accept, claim, receive, or retain any title of nobility or honor, or shall, without the consent of Congress, accept and retain any present, pension, office, or emolument of any kind whatever from any emperor, king, prince, or foreign power, such person shall cease to be a citizen of the United States and shall be incapable of holding any office of trust or profit under them or either of them.
Well, you know that worries me. You know why?
Why?
Because somebody sent me a large sword and dubbed, and how to describe it, I'm talking the big sword. I'm talking big, regular sword. It says Sir Arthur Bell on it. Now,
you're in trouble.
Well, it sounds that way. All right, well, thank you very much for the poem. Guess I'm in trouble, huh? What do I do with the sword? But then again, that amendment's lost, so what the heck? On the long side line, you're on the air. Hi. Turn the radio off and get closer to the phone or something. It's hard to hear you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Diamond Springs, California.
Okay.
And I'm Bill.
Okay, Bill.
I guess you didn't get that couple tonight.
No, I was on the air.
Yes, Norman Winter.
I see.
That was an interesting thing.
Well, now, you see, Pat Buchanan, I would imagine, would be able to do a better job on Hollywood than Bob Dole did yesterday. So I bet it was.
Most of the defending Dole, he didn't make any judgment as to whether Dole believed in his heart of hearts that what he said. He marveled at the depth and breadth of what he laid out. But this is kind of a watershed because no one's really specific. You'll see what he did.
Well, he did.
Time Warner, right, obviously, they had the CEO or Time Warner, and all he could do was label the thing ad hominem tag, which is not the case at all. This is a very detailed and
It was.
and I tend to agree with it, and I don't care what Bob Dole
means it or
he's
not.
playing politics with this.
You know.
What he says is true. What he says reflects my feelings. And if I got out in front of my house and yelled at the top of my lungs, no one would hear it. Bob Dole just happens to be I didn't become it. And the president makes note of what he says. Well, I'm glad he said it.
Well, okay, sir. I am not going to take issue with what Bob Dole said, because basically, with the exception of natural born killers, which I agree. And the values of Hollywood are very troublesome. However, there is this thing about the First Amendment. I delineate between adults and children, and most of the adults leave. I said this last hour. I've seen natural born killers. It had production value. There was lots of killing in it, but it was not gratuitous without a redeeming value, a dramatic value, or story value. All of that was there. So, I wouldn't have picked that movie. There's plenty of other ones out there with true gratuitous violence and no production value that I could consider at all. But more important, I think, is whether or not I believe that Bob Dole means what he said, or whether he's saying it just because he wants to be prosecuted. That's what I think. It was just a political statement. I like people who mean what they say what they mean. I am suspicious of people who do things for political convenience and gain. And I know that that's what politicians do. And that's what Bob Dole did. And so I guess I'm just observing. Well, Norman Lear said the following, quote, Hollywood, in its presentation of violence and sex, has no more to answer for than the Congress of the United States. The name of the game in the entertainment business is short-term thought. This is exactly what Congress is all about. How you can get elected in the short term and every other value be damned. Now that probably is also a fair statement, isn't it? Regarding politics. How you can get elected in the short term and every other value be damned. And I thought that was a reasonable response to Mr. Dole's blast in Hollywood. Dole's not wrong, I just don't believe that he means it. He has had a very long and somewhat distinguished career with some blemishes. But he's never harped on Hollywood before. And when you hear him now harping on Hollywood, you can, you look in Miss Dole's eyes, you see little shimmering eyes. And when he attacks something like Hollywood, the White House is sort of, they get a little brighter, they pulse. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Good morning, Mark. You're a for Smith Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
I know you're not going to agree with it, but I think that Bob Dole, if he gets the nomination, I believe he'll do more harm to the Republican Party than Clinton being in office for another 4 years.
Well, you're right. I don't agree with that.
I look at it this way. Bob Dole does not represent the up-and-coming Republicans in the Republican Party.
Well, I do agree with that.
I mean, he has, if you look back at everything he has done, he is basically flip-flopped almost as much as Clinton. He has...
yeah, there's no question about it. Bob Dole's compromised. Bob Dole's been all his adult life a compromiser. Well, that's what he does. I mean, that's what a minority leader and then a majority leader, that's what they do. It's compromise. It's not good training for strong leadership, in my opinion. He touts it as such. But a life of compromise is not a good OJT for a president who has got to make decisions.
If he can't make decisions now, what good will he do if he is elected, which I don't think he will be, by the way. But if he is elected, he'll hurt the Republican Party. It would be better for Clinton to be in there and let him do his political pandering like he's doing right now, than for Dole to get in there and turn away some of the young Republicans that are coming up.
Well, frankly, thank you. I don't really like either possibility, and I'm hoping for something else. Wild Card Line, you're on the air.
Hi, Eric. This is Eric from Bellevue.
Hello, Eric.
How's it going?
Fine.
I was watching Newt Gingrich. I believe it was on, I think it was Nightline. It was on one of the major networks. So it was while you were out of town.
Yes.
When you were on vacation.
Right.
And he was asked straight out if he planned on running for president. And he had said no, that he plans on staying as speaker.
Right.
And focusing on his accomplishments as speaker.
I know.
Oh, okay. Well,
I know he said that.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't so sure if we were clear on that, but man, I tell you, that would be a good race. I had an opportunity to watch him speak on C-SPAN. He was speaking in front of a bunch of realtors, which would anybody else would have been a boring type thing to watch, but man, I was just captured.
The guy is an intellect.
He
There's
is.
absolutely no denying it. Love the guy or hate his guts. You've got to admit he's an intellect.
He's brilliant. And when this thing was over with, I couldn't believe that I wanted to hear more. And he's talking about, the economy and lowering interest rates for, houses and whatnot. But he was able to go on about some of the other political aspects. That was quite fascinating, actually.
Well, I'm sure it was, and he certainly is, sir, and I hope, I've got my fingers crossed. He said no Sherman-esque-like statements, and that always leaves the door open. In the last couple days, he's made some statements indicating he might be beginning to get back again. Well, he should. Let me see if I can get this now. Here are, shame on you for implying all, or even most women, would react nicely to a fur coat. The man gave me anything with fur on it. I feel like retching all night long. Oh no, it's worse. She said, it's not retching. I would feel like reacting all night, like Lorena Bobbitt. Oh, that's terrible. Then she says, welcome back. Signed with Liberal Sue in Illinois. P.S. You're right about Bob Dole. Just let me remember that, Sue. I think most women, I stick with that. Most women, I think, would very much enjoy a fur coat, Sue, but certainly after what you've said, far be it from me to give you anything with even a little hair on it. I mean, I'd brush them all off, whatever it is I ever gave you, Sue. That's liberal named Sue. I'll wait for a call later.
You're listening to our show, 7 News on Premier Radio Networks. Tonight, an encore presentation of Coast to Coast AM from June 1st,
23,000 miles up and back. I mean, that's a lot more than any landline.
Well, it is, but they also get those delays with landline as well. And a lot of times it's just very echo, and there's a lot of equipment about that. So I'm really not sure. I know that sometimes we get great connections from Alaska, sometimes we get very poor connections with a great deal of delay. Where are you?
I'm in Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara, so there's no delay.
Hey, last time I heard a woman call, and she said she found a recent brother in North Carolina that was getting up to she asked what frequency he could get on, and if she had another question, and you said you'd come back at the top of the hour, or after the news and answer it. I'm not sure I ever heard that. But I can remember the question was.
I remember. It was for the psychic hairs on the back of my neck.
Okay, well, basically what I was calling about is that I consider myself pretty much a typical Republican, a mix of your moderate to conservative, and maybe some surprisingly, I don't know, you could probe me at maybe some liberal type leaning, but basically a little of the road Republican. And I agree with you that Bob Dole, I basically don't think he would end up being a viable candidate because I don't think we should see anything. The real trick here.
Well, so what's going on? Here I am with that view, and you with that view. You just described yourself by the way I described myself. And yet, all the polls show Bob Dole, is so far out front, it's not even funny. So we are not typical.
Well, if I can use the sports analogy, baseball, you start off kind of on one angle, and you end up going to the right and come all the way around. You end up coming to home, it ends up being the middle. Now, baseball, basketball, and football, they end up switching sides at the half, so you can't really use that. So let's say the Republicans end up going to, lead off and they end up towards first base. So I guess that means Democrats run the bases backwards, as far as I'm concerned. But what I'm saying is that everything's geared towards the people that vote.
I hate baseball. You shouldn't use baseball analogies.
Well, that's the only thing that seems to be fitting for me. Well, just be candid with myself. But let me just get back to this. What I'm trying to say is that not very many people vote, frankly. And it seems to me a bit of a game in that it's the posturing. You start off on one degree, and you come around towards the middle. Even some astute politicians such as Truman and Nixon recognize the fact that you start off leaning, say Nixon would be towards the right a bit, and then you end up coming towards the middle to win it. Now, I just see where Dole is positioning himself too early, way too far right, where that leaves a lot of room for Clinton to slide over in the middle and easily win it.
That's a very good point. Thank you. What you have to do generally is, as you're headed toward the convention and the nomination, you do have to go either very far right or very far left. Because those are generally the delegates and the people who attend the conventions. They're very much at the extreme. And then after that, when you get into the real campaign, you've got to put yourself back in the center. So that is right. It's just that somehow, what Bob Dole did yesterday seemed insincere. Now that's a very rough word, and it may well be that Bob Dole does feel somewhat this way, but it seemed like a purely politically blast with one particular intent, that was to attract the religious right as much as possible from Pat Buchanan, who, by the way, I think is the genuine article. I even like saying, Bob Dole is a genuine article in the sense that he is a good man with a lot of distinguished service in the United States and a great war record and a hell of an individual and very brave person, and he's all of that. I just don't think that he's the right man to run against Bill Clinton. And to me, that's important, because as I sit here contemplating the possibility that another 4 years of Bill Clinton, the psychic hairs and the political hairs, and even the hair hairs, all stand up on the right. On the first time caller line, you are on the air.
Yes, I want to ask a couple questions, and I'll take my notes off the air.
Okay.
I'm calling from San Francisco. My name is Cindy. I'm listening on KSFO.
Oh, the big one up there. Yes, Cindy.
I wanted to know, when's the next time you're going to have Alien on? And in your opinion, do you think that the scenario, the latest one predicted, has begin with the earthquake in Russia.
All right. Let's see. Next time on the business. Well, I don't know. We did a gigantic show with them. As you know, now, although 4 hours. 4 hours. It's the longest thing that we've ever given to anybody by before this guy. So, we'll wait a little while. I mean, we're going to put that on the file. That may be influenced by what happens with this cycle. Now, the earthquake in Russia, about 30 miles from the Japanese coast, may well be, and according to Gordon Study, may well be the beginning of the cycle of the larger quakes. If it is, and if I see the cycle progress as we all fear that it might, then let me put it to you this way. Before the cycle gets past South America, I will have Gordon Michael Stanley back on Deep Training. So I'm watching the present cycle very carefully, and we will see. How's that for best I can do? East of the Rockies here on the...
Hey, I heard that
He did. I've not yet seen it.
I've seen it. It was great. It really didn't have much sex in it, but it was very violent. But I'll tell you what I think would be interesting and probably won't happen. You know, Bridges in Madison County is going to be a smash.
That's what they say.
Well, and what does it deal with? You know, it deals with the woman having his hair.
Well, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I don't watch it.
Well, I've not long hunted for it, but I haven't read it myself. But it you know, as far as morality, you know, you won't hear anybody talk about it. And it's, you know, very popular.
Well, I think the ones you picked were easy targets. I think that, I'm sorry, but I think that it was just a sort of a political thing for Bob Dole to do. And because I think that, it makes me less interested in Bob Dole. I mean, there's a lot of really important issues right now that Bob Dole could have used his present forum to pound on. I mean, really important stuff. Bosnia comes to mind. Leadership in a situation like Bosnia comes to mind. There are just all kinds of things. The welfare state, the fact that Clinton really hasn't done anything. Healthcare. All kinds of issues Bob Dole should have used the forum to pound on. But he took an easy shot. He did it for the current. To me, it was very transparent.
When Carl was like, I pretty much liked a lot of what he was saying, and I was glad he was the one talking you know, it was a brand new concept. But the thing is, let me get some answers. Sometimes in the neighborhood, they had a real bad drug problem. And my doctor said, give me a couple weeks and I'll solve it. And he was just lock it off and go door to door. And that is when I was like, no way. Everything else about him, you know, even though he was kind of quirky and crazy, I liked it. But then the thought of someone just, you know, a police state, and just one little place, just things like that can just keep happening. That's when he rocked me.
I appreciate your call, sir. Thank you. Now I remember. I liked Rossboro. Here's kind of place. Rossboro is a bomb killer. Rossboro is a man who will say exactly what's on his mind. Rossboro is somebody who would have shaken up Washington in a way it's never been shaken up before, and it would have done a lot more good for Washington than Bill Clinton's done in the years he's been. I voted for Rossboro. I agonized about that. I mean, I got so angry at Rossboro when he dropped out, I could almost not go on the air. I was red faced. And then the campaign went on and on and on. I'm looking at George Bush, and I'm looking at Clinton, and I'm going got to sleep at night, and so I went to Rossboro. And I can see a scenario building this time when I would go for a third party candidate. Maybe. It depends on who the Republican nominee is. If it's Bob Dole, I may have a problem. Yeah, we'll see. I tell you, Newt Gingrich and Bill Clinton, now there you have an election. There you have something worth the price of admission. There you'd have something that would be a liquor, terror, election of the century. If the O.J. Simpson trial is the trial of the century, this would be the election of the century. No doubt about it. First time caller line, you're on it.
Yeah, hi, Eric. Let me turn the radio off here real quick.
Thank you.
I really enjoy your show. It gives me a lot to think about. And something I was thinking about, have you seen the movie The Lion King?
No, but I would like to.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good family movie. Disney always has a dark side. But anyway, my 8-year-old boy says that when his bad line named Scar took over the kingdom, the king it went to crash. Just everything died in the water. He told me that he thought it was similar to the way Bill Clinton was on America.
Like the bad Lion King, huh?
Right, yeah. He was real attentive about that. And he also said that Bill Clinton's like
Well, that's true. Thank you very much for the call. I agree with that. Look at the statements of the last few days. It's kind of like, well, we're not going to put ground troops in Bosnia. Then, well, maybe under these conditions, we will put ground troops in Bosnia. And then the next day, no, we're not going to put ground troops in Bosnia. We'd kill a lot of blood. That's all I'm supposed to count. 1, 2, 3 days. I have given up. I really have given up listening to Bill Clinton. I just simply don't believe anything he's got to say anymore. It's all contingent on what the reaction is, apparently. He just does not make decisions that he sticks with or that he will. See, I guess what I want, and it's the same complaint I have with Bob Dole. I want somebody who really believes what he's saying. I think that's what attracted me to Perot. Wild a man as he was, the guy believed what he was saying. I would have said was very good too. He had the strength of his convictions. That's what I like about Ronald Reagan. The strength of his convictions. Who have we seen lately like that? I even have complaints about Gingrich. That's pretty good. I have complaints about, I'll tell you another man with the strength of his convictions is Pat Buchanan. There's no question about it. I like Buchanan, I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. But if he begins to catch fire, and I would do whatever I could do to help, I'd be in there plugging away for Pat Buchanan. In the meantime, I'll say there, Gingrich, Clinton, there you've got a real election. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was playing with the phone and I thought you were part of it. Hey, and when you visit over into China, do they have all the controversy like they do here with their government? Because they're communists or just quiet about it?
Well, they talk about dissent is a little different relationship. A few facts about the leadership there need to be bought.
Yeah, I was just curious over that. You know, here in America, that's freedom of free speech and all. With all the controversy over you got an election to the president. Well, that's it.
We can say 7.62 the rivers and something else. On the Rockport line, you're on the how you doing? Louis Robinson, welcome back.
I wanted to tell you how much I appreciate I think it was the plain gentleman you had from the middle of nowhere in Oregon.
Oh, he calls himself Wade Gideon.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's one of the guys talking on there a while back about social justice.
No, that's cool.
That's right. I'm sorry. I work no very fast. told me last October he was going to be up in Macedonia. He called me in April and said May 15th is the day they were going to Macedonia. I said, what are you going to do? He said, we're going to be about 100 yards from the Bosnian border. How close? Well, it was about 100 yards. And I said, you mean to tell me we're going to be out there with a closest line? He said, well, when the advance troops went in, it's the operation. Bosnia went into hypothetical order because of how the United States was going to say.
Yeah, your service went through as a critical.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's pretty 100 or 500 of them. But actually, the central whole battalion is about 1,500 of them.
It's a tripwire. In other words, you come across the border, that's it, then we are involved, then we are at war. Naturally, if they begin to cross borders, they're not going to be very associated.
Yeah, well, the thing I told him was, I said, well, you know, make sure you shoot back. He said, well, the UN commander is a Swede, from what I understand, and hates America. And he wasn't going to give another order until after he saw them brought in practice for a couple of weeks and decided that they could have the authority on a limited basis to defend themselves if and when necessary. And I thought, well, son, you know, I'm not real happy that that's what's going on, but if that's the case, make sure you, when you shoot, make sure you shoot to kill to defend yourself, because they're not going to stop. So, anyway, I don't know how you're supposed to know that.
I'm glad you said it. The advice I would give my son is to tell Mr. Swede, if somebody shoots at you, shoot back and shoot to kill.
Actually, well, I told him, I said, they're going to probably run body armor, shoot for the head, and run like hell. But anyway, I tried to make
You're sort of a modified Gordon Liddy thing.
Well, I told him, I said, look, you know, I tried to look CBS now, I tried to tell him these things, nobody's interested. That we've already got troops just right on the verge of going in. And I thought, well, I wish somebody would say it, but nobody has. All right, thank you for the opportunity to keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. They're really not on the verge of going in. The troops in Macedonia are there as a concern. What that means is that if the Serbs come rush across the border, anybody can across the border, Macedonia begins to be involved. And we're saying that's our line in the sand. We will then truly be involved. And by the way, I would back that idea. We just cannot let the Serbs run wild and begin to do a hit roll with it. So, that's part of what we're doing. I think is we don't want another Germany to do it. But we don't have one yet, and that's not what's going on. And so I'm not ready for a big fight. I don't really want to go back and forth.